Okay, hey, my name is Chris Hernandez. I am here now with the, well, I guess that's the big question. Are you currently the board president of the Kansas City, Missouri Board of Education? This is Airick West, and that's been the big question all this week. You resigned at the beginning of the week. You are now saying that you want to be reinstated. Why do you want to be reinstated as board president?
Well, we're going to continue to go through some difficult times as the district, particularly as we are up against potential de-accreditation. What that's going to require is leadership that is really adept at continuing to do the work that we've been doing, for the past 2 years, of reaching out to the community, engaging, being involved, and inspiring the community to put their arms around the district.
But in this last week and a half, sparked by the resignation, the rather surprising resignation of Dr. John Covington, some issues that the board had dealing with that, you resigned. There was a no confidence vote, and you stepped down. At one point, you even voted for that yourself.
Yes.
But why do you now want to retract that and be board president?
Well, as my colleagues are familiar with, it's not actually a retraction. At the time, we were dealing with a crisis, and my judgment and the judgment of my colleagues was that at that moment the best thing to do for the district was to take one more potential lightning rod out of the equation. Now that all of those issues have been laid to rest and that information has come forward, the confidence of my colleagues returns. My intention was always to step aside temporarily until the crisis subsided.
But now you sort of need to campaign for to be reinstated, because it would have to come up with a vote of your colleagues at the next board meeting, right?
That's correct.
Do you think you can regain their confidence given everything that has happened, given the spat with Arthur Benson? Can you regain enough confidence to be reinstated?
Well, the underlying question is, are the allegations true? Obviously, the details have come out. They're not. And so, yes, I believe that no longer is there a majority of the board that questions my leadership.
And at 6 o'clock this morning, you posted on Facebook a rather lengthy message outlining your position and saying quite clearly that you did not have contact with the contractor in this question about whether you were interfering or trying to micromanage or have inappropriate contact with a bidder in an $85 million contract. Now, you, in your message, say quite clearly you had zero contact. We here at NBC Action News got those open records and looked at the email chain, but there is still a question in some people's minds as to whether or not you communicated with that contractor with a private email account rather than your school district account. Did you communicate with them at all with a private account?
Actually, the emails that you have are all from my private account.
And so you're saying, because there were some that were still being requested from the school district from your private?
Yes, everything that you've seen is all from my private account. All those emails have been turned over.
Okay, so what do you make of this continuing push by, frankly, some other board members to call into question?
I don't think there are any other board members who are still calling this into question. I think the issue was brought up, the facts speak for themselves, and it's been laid to rest. How
do you repair your relationship with Arthur Benson so that you can continue to lead the board?
Benson has concerns about the scholars of the district, as do I. Those concerns will unite us as they unite the entire board, and we'll move forward. We have a job to do, and that job is larger than any one of us.
Is there going to be any issue here with racial concerns if in this majority-minority district that there was a Caucasian leading the board, either Derek Ritchie or if the spat with Arthur Benson? Is that playing into it? There's some who are saying you were spreading that in the African-American community right now.
That's entirely inaccurate. When I put together the slate of candidates, we intentionally ran with, Latino and African-American and white candidate. I've always been about figuring out how we as a community can come together, how we can be united. This is no different. Derek Ritchie will serve as our acting president until the 28th, and then the board will choose from amongst the 8 members who will be the permanent president.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming in to visit with us today. Obviously, there will be more on this throughout the coming weeks. Again, it would come down to another board vote in September as to whether or not you regain your position at the end of September. And so we'll continue to follow it and get some more context for you and have some more of this interview coming up at 5 and 6.